What's up, everybody? For those of you who don't know me, I'm Kevin. You may have seen me in a video before, but I'm one of the managers of the league, one of the commissioners here, and going to take you through some quick tutorials on the off season, some quick reminders too. So first things first, I'm going to try and share my screen here. You should be seeing what I'm seeing now. All right, so we got the doc here. This is the Google Doc. Quick reminder to set your bird rights if you haven't done yet. Tonight is the deadline for that. So Glitz has sent out a few emails. And so for a reminder on bird rights, you basically can choose one of your players that finished his contract with you last year. So someone who you had at the end of the season on contract, but now they're a free agent. So for Sharky, Trevor Ariza is one of his guys. So he's got Trevor Ariza listed here, and Glitz has chose James Johnson, John, Jay Crowder. You don't have to pick somebody, but there's really no disadvantage to picking somebody. And what that means is if you win that player back on your team again this year, then the final year will be a team option. So the details are in rules over here. You can always control find and search bird rights if you have any questions, and go down the bird rights section here, and it has the explanation there for you too. So free agency, if you look on the bottom here, there's this orange tab that is free agency, will look like this. The order of free agents is down the left here. That order is based off of last year's finish. So the greatest, Marc Gasol had the highest finish of everybody who is no longer on contract. So he's in here. So everyone's screen will look very similar. You, however, will only have access to editing one row. So Jimmy has access to edit his row. Andrew's got access to his row. Dan his row, obviously. So how it works is free agency will start Monday, which is tomorrow, and we can all put in bids. And once you submit a bid, the timer will start. The coding is a little too complex to have an every second timer, so the timer doesn't really count down every second as much as it updates every 2 to 3 seconds. It'll also stop if everyone's out of it, and it updates once an hour or every time somebody makes any sort of adjustment. So if you leave it on and leave for 2 hours and come back, or 2 hours, it'll update every hour. But let's say you leave for 20 minutes and come back and no one has clicked anything, the timer might say the exact same thing. But if you come in here and go to click something, the timer will update right then. Or if you exit out when you leave, if you get out of the spreadsheet altogether and then open it back up, it'll update too. So it's not 100% perfect, but it can't quite handle all the computing it has to do. But just for an example, it's all tied into your team page. So if we go to Zach's page right here, Zach has 27.7 cap mil remaining. So it'll do the math on his max bids and all that for what he's allowed to do. So under Zach, if he's going to make a bid and he wants to bid 10 million for Marc Gasol, you just click on the arrow, say a 2-year contract, and he can do a 10% increase. Over on the right here is where it'll show what that contract would look like. So 10, 2 years, 10% is 10, 11. If he wanted to change it to 3 years, then 10, 11, 12. And his total bid is on the far right column here, 33. There's a final submit bid column here. You have to click that, and there's a check mark. So that's the only thing in this. No bid is official until you click check mark. And once you click check mark, you can't take back your bid. The coding gets all stored behind the scenes, and it gets time-stamped and everything that makes this work the way it does. This final submit bid cannot be undone. So Zach will click start. 33 is become the submitted bid. You can see the timer starting to count down here. And right now it's early enough where there's not too much going on. Zach's the only other one actually on the thing right now. And it's not computing 5 auctions at once. It is updating every second. And it looks like it did it for 13 seconds and it's kind of frozen. So that'll start updating again every few minutes while people are on it doing stuff. And once an hour, you can see it just jumped to 36 seconds. So it's working in the background. It just doesn't refresh every single second. No need to worry. If you want to beat Zach's bid, let's say I come in here and I want to do more than 10 million. So I'm going to come in and say 12 million for 3 years, and I'll go -5%. Again, it shows me over here that I'm 12, 11.4, 10.8. That's what my contracts would be for the next 3 years. I have the 34.2 total, and then I can click submit bid, and it'll take it a second. What it's going to do, it's doing the calculations. I've clicked submit bid. It's taken the check mark away from Zach because he's no longer currently winning. My name is now highlighted. I'm winning Marc Gasol, and this is the max bid. The whole process takes a few seconds, as you saw. If you have a really slow internet connection, a few more. Just don't hurry it, but it runs pretty smoothly. And just don't let this timer get down to exactly 1 second before trying to submit a bid, because once the timer hits 0, it completes the process of the completed auction, and I'll explain that here in a second. So it's pretty self-explanatory. If you try and do something you're not allowed, so let's say Zach wants to come beat me, and he is going to try and bid 36 million for 3 years. He's got this red because he didn't have 36 million in cap space. He had a 27 point whatever. So his contract would be 36, 39.6, 43.2 under this. He doesn't get the check mark. So I've clicked to this arrow to try and get the check mark. It's not there. There's no way to submit this bid because it's done the check. So there's a few different reasons you might have a illegal bid, if you will. One might be that you can't afford the actual bid. There's the for contracts under 10 million, they're only allowed to be 3 years. So if you click 4 years here, the red goes for, that's what's wrong. That's no longer a valid bid. So it's doing a bunch of the checks for you. And if something turns red and you can't figure it out, just dig through the rules real quick or ask a commissioner, and they'll be able to tell you, what's up with the bid. A reminder here too that you are allowed to go over the cap in the future. So if you had exactly 10 million this year, next year, but you did a contract that was like 9, 10, 11, that would be fine, because even though you could be over the cap next year, if you're under the cap this year, you're allowed to move forward. There's 5 auctions going on at a time. So this is Marc Gasol, he's on top, but if you scroll down, Rudy Gay is below him, then Al Horford, Trevor Ariza, and Robert Covington all going at the same time. So there is a little bit of a strategy in trying to decide who you're going to bid on when, depending on who's winning, how much time's left. And we just, like I said, go down the list over here. When it slows down near the bottom, maybe everyone's only got 1 or 2 open spots left. A couple of teams already done. It gets to the point where maybe we're all the way down to Danny Green, and someone's holding out for Dwayne Dedmon because they like the young guy better than they like Tony Allen, even though he finished higher. And like no one's going to bid on Kyle Korver or Tony Allen, however it goes. When it gets low and it gets slowing down, we start taking nominations, much like our first auction that we did. When it gets down to the last handful of spots, whoever's got the most spots left to fill, let's say Sharky's got 2, I'll say Sharky, nominate somebody, and he'll say, okay, I'm going to nominate Andre Roberson, see someone I'm interested in. Then I'll put Andre Roberson in the next spot, and I'll start him with a bid of 0.5 million for Sharky. That way it doesn't slow way down at the end, and we get this all done before the season starts, with the goal of having like a minute or two before, or sorry, a week or two before the season actually starts. So if you have any questions at any point, just let us know. The big things to remember, you have to click submit bid. You have to click the check mark to actually submit the bid. Your name will highlight green when you have the top bid. So there's a couple checks for you, and once you click submit bid, once you have the check mark, your bid is final. There's no undoing it. There's a couple safety mechanisms, like I said, that you can't accidentally bid 99 million or something like that and then click it. So, but just be careful. Make sure you have what you want before clicking submit bid. So that each auction is going for 36 hours. You will get an email from Google every 12 hours with an updated list on what the current free auctions are. So I have those just sent to me right now, but starting tonight, they'll be sent to everybody. This is what it'll look like. The subject will be the sequel daily free agent status, and it'll say current free agent bids attached, and there'll be a PDF. When you click the PDF, this one was sent before I started this video, so you didn't see the whatchamacallit, the timer and the bids in here. But this is just a regular PDF. You can zoom in like normal, and it'll say Kevin 11 years, 11 million, 3 years, 5% decrease, and it'll have all the details in here. So you get these every 12 hours with an update. In addition to this, Google will automatically send out an email when somebody has won the auction. So when one of those 5 timers hits 0, instead of saying 36 minutes down here at the bottom, this one will be blanked out and it'll say auction over, or it'll be completely blank. Sometimes it fires the email a millisecond before the auction over gets typed over the timer. But either way, if this doesn't have any time, or it says auction over, that one's over, and you can see whoever has the high bid, they'll win that auction. So then what it takes is it takes me to go in and reset one of these auctions, take everybody's bids out, and go from Marc Gasol to Robert Covington if he was the next guy up, type him in, and he'll be on the block. Another 36 hours starts with whoever puts the first bid on him. So you don't have to be checking it all day, because there's always, every time someone ups the bid, the timer resets to 36 hours. So, and I don't know if we caught that clearly, but we'll just throw it in here for Bolton just so you guys can see that clearly. So 35 minutes, 35 hours, 54 minutes left. If Bolton takes the bid, then the timer will reset. It'll take my check mark away, and the timer resets to 36 hours. And the new top bid to beat is 45. So because every time you up the bid, the timer resets to 36 hours, you'll get at least 2, sometimes 3 emails showing you who has the high bid before an auction is over. So you don't have to be checking it constantly. Just when the emails come in, open it up real fast. Look, if Bolton's this one, okay, I'm still winning Gasol, don't need to worry there. Or he can see, oh, there's only 4 hours left on Trevor Ariza. I really wanted him. I'm going to get in on that. So there's that convenience for you. Any questions, let us know. I think that's all pretty intuitive. Hopefully there won't be any issues. And that's pretty much it. As always, good luck, everybody. Senglitz, your restricted free agents. So, and let's say Bolton had Gasol this way, 15, 3 years, 0, and he wins this auction, and Gasol was his man who he had bird rights on. 15, 15, 15 is his contract. Bolton's page would look like this. He would come in here, and instead of player 11, he'd have Marc Gasol, and he would have 15, 15, 15. This third year, we got this highlighted team option here in orange, would be a team option, meaning if Bolton were to drop Marc Gasol at some point throughout the year, instead of having to pay a cap hold on the 15 million this year, the 15 million next year, and the 15 in 2018 or 19, this third 15 is non-guaranteed money, so that just goes away. So Bolton could then either buy out or drop Marc Gasol as if he had a contract of 15-15. If Marc Gasol gets traded during the year, that team option stays with him. So if I believe, so Jimmy's got 2 guys. He's got Curry. Well, that was from the draft. But anyways, if you have someone on maybe Glitz, that's someone traded for a couple extra. Maybe not. Anyways, so that's how the bird rights will go. Yeah, it's been a fun season. Everyone was super active during the off season and with the draft and everything, and trades going wild. So hopefully this will be fun. I'm going to reset all this. This will be back at 0 by the time you guys open it up, and we'll have a good off season. All right, everybody. Peace.